slow rolling in.
Here comes the front door. We'll take him down.
Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
He's moving. Go.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, but this man absolutely did do something in Polk County, Florida.
Why are you doing this?
I'm trying to understand
You're purposely antagonizing
why you
me.
did this,
You're
man.
trying to push my buttons.
I'm not trying to push your buttons. I'm trying to get to the truth.
And he's not eager to talk to me about it.
I want you to get the hell out of here. That's
I
what
know, but
want.
you're not in charge here, Matthew.
I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel. But there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored, all on WatchTruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube26 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on TruBlu. In Polk County, Florida, Operation Fool Around and Find Out is in full swing. In the war room, an undercover detective has been posing as different 14-year-old boys on multiple sites. A man reached out not once, but twice, to whom he thought were two different boys open to sexual encounters. We've learned that man's name is Matthew. The undercover detective fills me in on the chats.
Well, it started last night. He hit me up on a different dating app, and he was talking to a 14-year-old boy and wanted to meet up. He wanted to pick me up from a store nearby so that he can give me a blowjob, if I remember correctly. He said he wanted to suck my dick, eat my ass, and fuck you if I was interested. We were talking last night. He asked when we were going to meet, and then he never responded. And then again, 24 minutes ago, he messaged me saying, hey, and then he wants to meet up to suck me off and fuck me. And then he said, if you don't want to play, I'd be happy just to suck you off. I just want to taste your cum.
I just want to teach you.
He said, I want to taste your cum.
So this guy wants to meet a 14-year-old boy for sex.
Yes.
And there's no question that it's been made obvious to this guy that
Yes, I told him.
the boy's 14.
Yes, sir. I told him I was 14. He said, I didn't hear that. Your profile says 18, so that's what I believe. I said, I promise I'm 14. This is just after he said, I like younger.
I like younger. He says, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Correct.
The address is sent to Matthew, so we load up and head out toward the Sting House. The Polk County surveillance team and I are in position.
We're set up.
Are you set up?
Yes, Temple.
Simple. This is the white male target. Supposed to come to the RV to pick up the UC to take them offside.
But if he parks in the driveway and gets out, you all deal with it.
Simple. And if he pulls in the driveway, we're just going to hold and see if he gets out and comes to the front door. If he comes to the front door, we'll take him down. If he stays in the car, then I'll let you guys know to start moving in behind him.
The plan is in place.
Copy.
Just minutes later, we watch as Matthew's vehicle is spotted just down the street.
All right, he's slow rolling in.
There he is.
Yep. Just made the westbound turn, slow rolling.
Old Chevy's Bronx just pulled into Friendship Village. We were dropping off a tow.
All right, you can slow roll past. Pull out, pull out. He parked just past the house. He's in the driveway, not in the driveway, but in the road in front of the driveway just west of the house.
It's a tense few moments as we don't know what Matthew may do next.
He's moving. He's moving. Go. 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 Go.
The deputies block Matthew's vehicle from making a getaway. They surround the SUV and take him into custody.
Turn around. Turn around. Hands behind your back.
I didn't do anything.
Let go.
Okay.
Sorry, no. Get him out of here.
Matthew's now going to be taken to the command post for questioning, but take a look at this over here. It would appear that one of Matthew's jobs was as an Uber driver. Whenever we catch somebody in one of these things who drives for Uber, it always creates concern. Is he capable of harming a passenger? We're going to get a chance to talk to Matthew in just a little bit then. I jump back in the car with a detective to head to the mobile command center.
There's no perfect scenario. You just have to sometimes just trust your gut. And it looked like he was getting fishy,
As we pull up, Matthew is being searched again. He's led into the mobile unit to be interviewed by a detective. I watch, listen, and review the chat log to prepare for my conversation with Matthew.
Hey, Matthew. You hanging in there?
Trying.
Kind of a rough day, huh?
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm Chris Hansen,
Okay.
and we do a series of stories called Takedown.
Okay. I really don't want to participate in that.
Okay, but I have a couple things I want to clear up, and you can talk to me or not, and I understand this is not an optimal situation for us
Yeah.
to meet,
I,
but how did you end up over in that neighborhood today? Was it just a chat online? Is there a misunderstanding, or?
it was a chat online. I didn't plan on following through with anything. I didn't ask for any nudes or anything. I'm lonely. I'm a lonely person, and the lifestyle that I live and that some young people go through, it's lonely too. And I just, thought I could talk. I don't know if it would have progressed or not. I know it shouldn't have, and it looks suspicious that I followed through with it. But
How old are you, Matthew?
43.
43. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a receptionist.
You're a receptionist at a law firm? And then I saw an Uber sign on your car. Do you Uber a little bit too?
I do part-time, yeah.
And the fellow you were talking to online, did they say who they were or how old they were or anything like that?
Yeah.
And did that make you nervous at all?
It made me nervous meeting up, yes, but I really didn't have any intentions of progressing that far. I thought, what was the harm of meeting somebody, talking similar interests? I know it was difficult for me growing up, so.
Did you have a hard time when you were 14 years old?
I was bullied. I thought that I was the only one that felt the way that I feel.
It's a confusing time for a 14-year-old.
Yes.
Did you think maybe you could help this kid
I thought maybe we could talk. Yeah. Let them know that things get better. I think things have gotten better in general for that, but yeah.
Now, we do investigations all the time, and the vast majority of cases are men looking for underage girls. And I guess the question is this an environment here that is frustrating for you to find companionship in this part of the country? Did that have anything to do with this?
Polk County is very, very difficult. Yeah. I'm here. I don't want to be here. I don't like it here.
And why are you here in Polk County?
Because my mother, she's my life. She's the reason that I'm here in Florida. I can't be without her.
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to do when she passes.
Is your mother ill?
No. She's getting up there in years now.
So you're close with your mother.
Yeah.
And do you live with your mother?
No, but I have to live in Florida because she doesn't want to. She was a snowbird and she decided to stay. Now I get the joy of telling her that I'm in jail on Mother's Day weekend.
As we sit here, we're approaching Mother's Day itself. How do you tell your mom that you got arrested for something like this 2 days before Mother's Day?
It's also a day after the 18th anniversary of my father's passing.
I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm not looking for sympathy, but I can't deny that I always get a little self-destructive around this time of year.
So what is the anniversary of your father's passing?
Yeah. He passed away 18 years ago yesterday.
18 years ago yesterday.
And I always get a little self-destructive this time of year.
Right.
I shouldn't. I did stuff. I did something I shouldn't have. I was trying to be smart about it and not, ask for things like nudes or anything.
But you talked about sexual acts.
I did.
You talked about performing oral sex on the boy.
I did.
You talked about seeing where it goes. Specifically, you said you were going to suck his dick.
Yep. And I should have just blocked him when I found out his age. I've done that before. I don't know why I didn't this time. It was stupid.
You said you wanted to taste his cum. Right?
You're right.
This is not gray area stuff.
I know. I'm rather disgusted right now with myself.
You say I like younger.
I do prefer in their 20s or 30s. Yes.
20s or 30s, but we're talking 14 here.
I know.
And he told you he was 14. Yeah. And you said, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
I'd rather not talk about it anymore.
All right. But what would have happened, Matthew, had the boy gotten in your car and he had been open to a sexual encounter?
I don't think I would have been able to bring myself to do it.
But you brought yourself to come over to the house where he was alone. You brought yourself to cross this line coming to visit a 14-year-old boy.
I wasn't going to go in the house, though. We were going to chill in the car.
You were going to chill in the car. And what was going through your mind when you pulled up to that house? What were you thinking?
That, I wonder if he's going to be cool. I wonder if we're going to, have things to talk about, or he's going to be quiet. I like having people to talk to.
Right.
I don't have many friends. I'm pretty much a loner.
But why go after somebody who's 14? You see how this looks, Matthew.
I do.
I mean, the best case scenario is not good. You chatted about sex online with someone who told you they were 14. That's a crime. You traveled to meet that person. That's a crime.
All right. Yeah, I know. I feel like shit about it, and you're trying to push my buttons. Please stop.
I'm just trying to understand why somebody would do it.
You're not a detective. I'm gonna my right to remain silent.
All right. I'm not a detective. You're right. Was he the only underage boy you were talking to over the last couple days?
I'm not answering you anymore. Please stop asking me questions.
All right.
Why are you doing this? You are purposely antagonizing me. You're trying to push my buttons.
I'm not trying to push your buttons. I'm trying to get to the truth.
Please leave. Don't bug me anymore.
All right. Is there anything else you want people to know about your
I want you to get the hell out of here.
I know, but you're not in charge here, Matthew. You're not in charge here. You could have avoided this whole thing by not getting in your car and driving to meet a 14-year-old boy after a sexually charged conversation. Don't blame me for what you did, because that's bullshit. You're around the law enough to know that this ain't right. And if there's anything else you want people to know, now would be the time to share it. Matthew? Anything else you want folks to know? What do you think this boy's parents would say? 43-year-old man drives across town to meet their child. All right.
Yes.
Matthew, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
What started as a seemingly civil and personal chat about his life turned heated very quickly when I confront him with the texts. When that happens, well, see for yourself. Matthew is taken away for further processing and booking.
Matthew claims that he wasn't going to do anything sexual with the 14-year-old boy, just talk, maybe help him through a confusing time. But remember, this is not the only decoy with whom he was chatting over the last few days. And his history suggests that maybe he had more in mind than just talking.
Matthew is being charged with multiple felonies: traveling to meet a minor, use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony, use of a computer to solicit a parent or guardian, attempted lewd or lascivious conduct by an adult, and misrepresenting of age using a computer to seduce a child. We'll keep you posted on the case against him. Sheriff Grady Judd and I know that the well-being of children is the furthest thing from a predator's mind. With the evolution of social media and web platforms, we have to educate parents and society of the dangers lurking behind keyboards and cell phones. Today, potential predators can be anywhere.
Matthew chatted with not one, but two of your decoys posing as 14-year-old boys. Sexually charged conversations. Ultimately, got in his car, drove to a location to consummate this sexual relationship with a 14-year-old boy.
It was about self-gratification for him. You know what I'm still shocked about is how little they care for the child and how much they care for themselves. This whole world wraps around the predator and what they want as sexual gratification. They could care less about the child.
Described in detail the sex acts he wanted to perform with this child.
Absolutely. Thinking that he was talking to a child.
Who does that?
Only the worst of society would do that. Do you know that social media has allowed us to catch a lot of sex predators we would have never caught? But social media has introduced a lot of sex predators to children that they would never be able to get to. And that's why I like to share with families. You know, a deviant, dangerous sex predator can walk boldly into your home through your child's social media devices and groom them and talk to them and convince them to have sex while you're in the house with your children. So while back in the day when I did undercover operations to go after these sex predators, it was very hard for us to catch them because there was no social media. But it was very hard for them to get to children as well. So the new world of social media has certainly made it easier to catch them, but unfortunately it's made it much easier for them to find children in need of attention and much easier to groom children.
WatchTrueBlue.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen true crime documentaries and exclusive investigations. To hear more about the men caught in my predator investigations, listen to my podcast, Predators I've Caught with Chris Hansen. In this series, I dig deep inside the crimes, inside the minds of the predators, and I'll tell you where they are today. Predators I've Caught, available wherever you get your podcasts.